anyone allowed by cross them. Our governors have to share police power with the president as stipulated.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to Rise and Shine Daily. It's a Thursday, right? Yeah, it's a Thursday morning actually. 23rd of February 2023. I just needed to be very precise about that one. Anyways, my name is Janice Cover. Many thanks for joining us again on the show.
Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Akwa Ibom State. It's a beautiful Thursday morning to rise and shine wherever you are. Of course, my name is Uyai Anyekan. I love that you are, right there this morning to take this journey with us. So I'd like to encourage you to be a part of the growing community and also make your contribution to the issues that we raised on the floor this morning. You can do that by following us across all our social media platforms that you can find at spectrumtv.ng. You can also do well to call us on the phone lines that will be displayed on your screen. Send us WhatsApp and text messages also, and of course we'll deal with the issues that you raised this morning. Good morning. Good morning, Janice.
Good morning, Uyai.
How is the spirit of the day?
Well, spirit of the day, we are counting down. Actually, we are counting down, but it's quite pathetic to see and to also know that a lot is still happening in terms of the cash crunch. Yesterday, the streets of Rio was literally dry. We couldn't find people moving, the normal business in some very hotspot areas. We didn't see that, and it was difficult for people to even get to their destinations at some point. And it just made me keep wondering, how is the election going to be? Because even if you're saying that INEC has done a good thing by letting people know that you can actually vote, your polling unit should be like a stone throw from your home. So even if you want to go to that home that you did your registration, how would you even go, going by all of what is happening in the country? And I think yesterday, even on the papers, it was said that one of the headlines said Nigerians are actually waiting and hoping on the Supreme Court, for yesterday's session and judgment. But that didn't come through because that case has actually been adjourned to, I think, 3rd of March. And it puts Nigerians back in that spot where we do not even know what is going to happen, for the elections. And yes, families are still suffering. I was over the phone with my brother in Calabar yesterday, and he says we don't even know how to survive. POS agents are still collecting as much as 4,000 naira for 10,000, and all of that. And even if you go to the banks, the queues are still largely there. So you have to spend hours and hours on queues, and even at the end of the day, you might not even have the money that you went for, and all of that. So it makes me wonder, how this elections is going to play out. And again, too, I saw something this morning, and it was very disheartening. I think one of the senatorial candidates for is it Anambra now or Enugu? No, Anambra State, yes, Labour Party, was shot dead in Enugu on his way to his home or something, and then the car that he was in was also set ablaze. So these are all of the things that we are seeing prior to just a day to the general elections, and it's making me wonder, are we actually ready for this? Violence is not one of the things that should be associated, with politics, but that's what we get to see in the Nigerian politics, and it's really disheartening.
A lot of disheartening things are happening, and even unexpected revelations are still being made several hours to the election. And I had to even ask someone yesterday, I was like, all of this battle and all of the heat that people attached to the elections, people vying for positions, is it really necessary? Because at some point I had to be reminded, because I was wondering what exactly is in this seat that people want to go over, and above to be there. And I mean, I'm reminded it's a question of being the person who's wielding the most important power in a country or in a state, and all of those kinds of things. Now having like the the senatorial candidate there being assassinated, because I mean, you don't need you do not need the police to start their investigation to tell you. First of all, I mean, it's outright assassination. The person is shot dead and the vehicle is burnt, but it's just, what price do we have to pay for us to have democracy in our country? And I mean, Citizens Murphy yesterday had said that we have not yet gotten to the place where we can say that Nigeria is running a democratic system in the country. But yes, we've been under civil rule for all of these years. But when it comes to democracy, which is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, Nigeria is yet to get to that place. And I know I was watching a particular clip yesterday, and the speaker, was saying it's not the matter of the person you are electing into office. It's not that candidate. It is, at this point, it is a race for Nigerians. It is Nigerians electing someone into the seats to represent them. So it must be, the words of Nigerians against people that are just vying, for the seat of power for whatever reasons. But the situation continues to bite. I mean, money is not available anywhere. So you're seeing that. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and the person was saying, okay, she sells a shop, right? And then someone had been owing her and could not pay up. Then the person just brings dry gari and gives her to sell instead and recoup the money. So this is what people are seeing. We are seeing trade by barter begin to surface again. And then, God helping you, if you have maybe like a kiosk that you frequent and you've been good to them, you don't owe. Now people are having, and I was just thinking yesterday, when you keep going to that shop to get things that you need on credit, because some of them are not getting transferred. Now they are waiting for when you would have cash. You keep going. You know they're doing it for you. You can imagine the number of persons that they're doing it for. One day we're all going to turn up to the shop and there is nothing left to collect because their monies are being tied up in people's hands. But I mean, the conversation this week has been, let Nigerians, I mean, Tony called from Benue and he was saying let Nigerians just hold it together for the next couple of days. So we are literally looking at Thursday getting over, Friday getting over, and there is a hope that after the presidential election on Saturday, it might just ease off a bit. Ease off a bit. It might not be this intense waiting up to March 11. We don't know, but these are just the hopes of Nigerians. But we've continued to have people ask Nigerians to temper justice with mercy. We have experienced and held on for 2 weeks, going on 3. I mean, 2 days to the election will not be so much to ask anymore. Just hopefully we can find a way to survive before Saturday.
Well, while we're trying to find a way to survive, it's quite heavy right now. While we're trying to find a way to survive, we just hope that a lot more people will not lose their lives in trying to survive until all of this is being phased out gradually from the system. After all, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, of course, the president has said that let's just give him a little bit more time, let's just hold on and hold forth until all of this will be over very, very soon. But let's look at some of the major stories making the rounds this morning. Of course, on Rise and Shine, we talk about very topical issues. And like we will always say, join the conversation, okay? Let's know your thoughts. This morning, you're going to be our guests on the show. So let's hear from Nigerians, whatever it is. I know that INEC has started distributions of essential and very sensitive materials across the 36 states. So let's know your thoughts from across the nation, wherever you're watching us from this morning. But before we get to that, let's look at the major stories making the rounds. Talking about INEC, of course, we have seen that the 2023, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has commenced the distribution of sensitive materials to local councils in Lagos in readiness of Saturday's polls. Now that's just it's not just in Lagos, but other parts of the 36 states across, and the FCT and the resident electoral commissioners of the 36 states. Now, with the presidential and National Assembly elections bill to hold on Saturday across the 36 states and the FCT, the Resident Electoral Commissioners (RECs) of the Independent National Electoral Commission in some states have confirmed taking delivery of sensitive materials and their distributions to LGAs. Now, the REC in Lagos State, Olusegun Agbaje, told newsmen at the Central Bank of Nigeria office in Lagos yesterday that the commission had taken delivery of the materials and commenced their distribution to the 20 LGAs of the state. He also went ahead to say that the commission had commenced the distribution of all electoral materials starting from Wednesday, and adding that the electoral officers from each council would do the final distribution on election day. Now, it's not just in Lagos State that we see that materials have started, being distributed. We also saw in Cross River State. We also saw in Ondo,
Edo.
yes, Edo too, and of course in Lagos State. We've also seen in the FCT where the sensitive materials have begun to arrive, and it just shows INEC's readiness on one hand, that they are actually ready to conduct the elections on Saturday.
At this point, I actually feel like being like, yay, the elections are happening on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's actually how I feel. And I think at this point is very, very commendable. And would like to commend Mahmood Yakubu and INEC at this point, because there were a lot of speculations initially as to, is this election really going to hold? Is INEC really ready? Will it be postponed? It's beautiful to see that a couple of hours to the election, we see all plans by INEC moving as scheduled. So it's just a beautiful place for us to be at this point, and we have seen them proving their preparedness for the elections. And just like some people would like to say, it's not just a matter of INEC now or the security agencies, it's also for the citizens to be on the watch, be on the lookout, be ready to go out on Saturday. And apart from that, we have experienced incessant abuses on INEC facilities across the country at some point. We are hoping that we do not have any incidents between today and Saturday on any area where the sensitive materials have been released. Now, that is going to behoove on not just INEC or the security agencies that have been released there. I know when it comes to security, we usually say when there is a foreign face in your environment, a foreign air in your environment, you are going to know. So it's important for citizens, villagers, people in communities to be very alert at this time. Like I said yesterday, get the phone number of the security agents in your area, people that have been brought to safeguard things. So it means that when a security agency gets to a particular local government, they should, I expect that is going to happen. You should pay visits to the clan leadership so that they know, get your phone number, drum, some places still have the town criers. Give the whole information. Let's be on guard and be ready for this election. INEC has proved to themselves so far in terms of readiness. The materials are being distributed all over the country. I'm very sure that today being Thursday, we are going to see it spread across most states, and more polling units and more people. NYC talked about putting together over 1,000 core members as ad hoc staff for the election. So we seem to see a lot of things coming together for the elections, as it were. We are trusting that the beavers will work as promised, and then no porosity. But remember that INEC had said at some point that they had attempted to hack their system here and there. And it took my mind back to the NSAS period, where we had a lot of ingenuine Nigerians doing a lot of things, unexpected things for the first time on the internet. And I just thought to myself, would it have been possible for INEC to, in quote and unquote, source for these hands, so that we have, and I do trust the hands that we have at INEC, but we're just saying we hope we have the technical hands that can guard, all of those codings and all of those things that would defend the integrity of the beavers at the election. Because I think the twist to this particular election is the use of the beavers. At this point, a lot of people are just relying on the fact that, okay, we will not experience overvoting, we will not experience this and this because of certain technological impurities 25th as we made into the elections. But it's good to see that we are making progress, and come a couple of hours from now to the 25th, everything will be said. I think we're also looking at like readiness in terms of what the citizens are expected to do when it comes to the 25th of February. What time are polling units opening up? When is registration, starting? And I think registration is starting at 7:30 in the morning. So registration is going to happen. So it's expected that people, come out on time. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and the person said, me, I'll just wait, and hear what is happening in the community first of all before I decide whether or not I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's an approach that some people have, but I feel like let's be proactive. The Nigerian military has said they are ready, and they're going to be proactive during the elections. So I just feel like let us trust, the system at this time and go out and vote en masse. So of course, information for how the election processing is going to go is already available. By 7:30, polling units are going to open, and everything starts first of all with accreditation of voters. That is what you must do first of all when you get there. Your PVCs are going to be checked by the BVA, the BVAS machine, and all of those things. And before you know it, we expect a smooth process to be done everywhere.
Yeah, and then just to also let people know that it said that on the election day we are going to the eve of the election. That's on Friday. Election day, not Friday now, but on Saturday, there'll be curfew from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the evening. So once it's 12 a.m. on Saturday, you just know that curfew has started. So it gives people, that it doesn't give people the liberty to go further, like farther places, It just restricts you to your area
on Saturday.
Of course, yes, and your polling units. And that's why sometimes, or most times, you see that young people come out to play football on their streets, on the major roads, on election day. So we do not want to see that happen this time around
at all.
Do not play football on major roads on election day. Rather, just go and use your PVC and vote. It's your civic responsibility for you to do, and you just have to do it. Okay, but that's the information. There's going to be curfew from 12 a.m. on Saturday morning to 6 p.m. where the elections will be done and dusted for Saturday. So just to keep people abreast with some of the things that's will be happening, so you don't feel that okay, so by maybe 5 o'clock let me just dash to Ibiakuran, or let me just dash to somewhere you just get yourself stuck there because you'll not be able to come back again, or you'll not even be able to go to where you're going to. So by 12 a.m. on Saturday morning, curfew starts till 6 p.m. on Saturday when the curfew is dusted. But again, I think that away from INEC just being ready, citizens should also be ready and also take responsibility.
Yes,
just to draw back to what happened in Osun State, where we know that INEC cannot involve everybody. It's that there's too many hands spoil the broth. That's more like an adage or a proverb. Too many hands spoiling the broth. So we don't expect INEC to use everybody to do their job. Of course, they have trained people that are going to be doing the job for them. But again, there was something that happened in Osun that was really very commendable of Nigerians. So when you see that there is no work to transmit, there's no network to transmit results to the servers, please, and you have network, go ahead and help, to give network to INEC to transmit results, because everybody wants a free, fair and credible election. Let's not hear that, oh, this one happened or that one happened, at the end of the day. So I think basically that's just it. Citizens should be more prepared even than INEC themselves,
We've even heard on a lighter note here, like on a humorous end, where people are like, Nigerians are going to go to polling units carrying their, modems and, anything that can just help you connect to the internet on a very, large scale. It's going to happen. And I think that will be good, so that we can just make sure that we defend. It's a matter of defending your vote. So whatever contributions you can make is something that will be, very welcomed at this time. And I would just like to reiterate the fact that tomorrow being, taking the entire journey with you from tomorrow up till Sunday.
Yes, Sunday.
Through the period. And now it's more like especially a big thank you to all those who consistently call us. Would have you like our eyes, like our eyewitnesses in this difference, to pitch one political party against the other. You're not declaring, doubts, or people did not turn out. Just let us know the proceedings. Send us WhatsApp messages, text messages. Let's be on the go. It's also our contribution as a defense for the election. We can't. Everyone needs to be on guard at this time for this particular election. So whatever is necessary for you to do. And I like how inclusive Nigerians have become. I've also seen people release like kits, tools that everyone going out to vote should have. So have a bottle of water, have aspirin, paracetamol, have an umbrella, things to just be
dress smart. In case there's any form of violence outbreak, you can snap out of the area immediately as well.
And I think I would also like to add, Janice, in this day that we all wear earpods, please try not to stop here. If you can, and not wear earpods in both ears. But since people will be staying like for a number of hours, people might like to be working on their phones and all. Please, if you must use your earpods, just put on one ear
and allow the other one here when something happens.
So that even when they're saying, oh, move forward, move backward, you can hear. Don't go out there and be swamped in technology when you should be paying attention to your environment, basically.
Okay, so we'll take a pause on that and move up straight to our next story. Still on elections proceedings, a lot is still being happening.
Okay, so I'll just give background to the story before I share my thoughts, because I'm really wondering. So we have the presidential candidates of the various political parties on Wednesday sign a second peace accord ahead of the Saturday, February 25th presidential election. The peace accord is designed to get the commitment of the contestants to ensure that neither they nor their supporters would cause or engage in election violence. Speaking at the event in Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari reiterated his commitment to allowing the rule of law to take its course all through the election period. Most of the presidential candidates turned up for the event. Some of the presidential candidates present at the signing were Bola Tinubu of the APC, Peter Obi of Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party, and Dan Nwanyawu of the ZLP. Now, we also had their former President Goodluck Jonathan, who urged the candidates to accept and abide by the outcome of the 2023 presidential election, and if issues should arise, he told the candidates to deploy constitutional means and appeal to the courts rather than other unconstitutional means. Now, Jonathan, who was represented by Matthew Kuka, who is the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, charged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and security agencies to ensure that the election was credible. A tweet he shared at the end of the event, Labour Party's Peter Obi said, "I just signed the second peace accord at the ICC along with the Labour Party National Chairman, Barrister Julius Abure. Other candidates signed too. So let peace reign," So this is like background of everything that we had going on there yesterday. And I think the first question was, why did we have to have another peace accord being signed? Like, the body that, of course, we saw the president in attendance in this particular one, and surprisingly, we had Bola Tinubu also in attendance. I think that is a very good one at this time. So some people are going to feel like
all of the 18 political parties, the presidential candidates representing the 18 political parties were available, present there.
So it's more like we can now hold this particular peace accord over the first one that was held, right? So, but the conversation remains: will the signing of the peace accord be enough to deter the presidential candidates across the 18 political parties, from, taking unconstitutional measures to solve any discrepancies that may occur from the elections?
I think that's a very big question, because it even makes me wonder the peace accord. This is not the first time we've signed peace accord. Okay, but first and foremost, we must commend the likes of Abdul Salami Abubakar and even Matthew Coker, Bishop Matthew Coker, even for putting all of this together. That's just their own more like corporate social responsibility, you know, to ensure that peace reigns during the election and even after the elections and all of that. But the question is, has the peace accord actually made any difference when you talk about, you know, trying to like guard against violence, electoral violence and all of that? So that's just the big question here. But it's good that, you know, these political gladiators were there present, you know, to sign the peace accord, and it makes them take the message back to their supporters wherever they are going to be, you know, and let them know that, okay, whatever it is that you're doing, this is what we have signed, that at the end of the day, there should be peace. The election should be conducted in a free, fair, and credible, peaceful manner, and not necessarily, you know, being violence and all of that. But it goes beyond that.
Yeah, it does.
Now, there was a thought that came in, you know, when you're saying that let there be peace, will the candidates at the end of the day, it also includes taking the results the way it is.
Yeah.
The way Nigerians have said, this is the result, this is who we want.
Yes.
At the end of the day, will these candidates actually
respect the will of Nigerians?
You know, that's the question. So the peace accord, fantastic idea. It gives room for people to come together to say that, yes, we have said, let there be peace. And let's not also forget that these people, the presidential candidates of the different political parties, are like influencers. Okay, so if they say to their people, let peace reign, definitely peace will reign, you know. So I really commend Matthew Cooker. I commend all of those, you know, responsible for this peace pact. But more than that, let us know. And then, okay, yes, I remember now. I wanted to say, is the aside from signing the peace treaty, is there like punitive measures attached to it that would say that, okay, so if we hear that this particular political party flouted, this is what we are going to hold responsible, or this is what we are going to be doing to those people that have flouted the, you know, the peace treaty. So if that is not, you know, put in place, then I don't think that, you know, the signing of the peace treaty holds that enormous weight that it is supposed to hold. Is it also backed constitutionally? It is not.
Well, at this point,
so it's just people coming together, concerned Nigerians that feel that, okay, we owe Nigerians this, let us do it.
I think at this time, it's more like placing a price on the conscience of the political candidates, the presidential candidates rather. It's more like putting a peg on their conscience. If you have conscience, having come out to sign this peace treaty, we do hope that you follow your conscience when the result comes out, whether it's in your favor or not in your favor. And if you have any problem with the results, use the system of the judiciary instead of, you know, looking for any other means. Now, when we are talking about peace, we're also talking about statements that will be made during and after the elections, because sometimes, like you said, the presidential candidates are influential people. You will not go and make a statement that incites your followers against the followers of another person. Now, at another angle to the whole peace treaty thing is, let us look for ways to make sure that our followers, whether they are batified, articulated, or obedient, I don't know, Kwankwaso's people, if whether they're Kwankwad, you know, but at this point,
we've never really heard, you know, like, coin a name for those like, supporters of
Kwankwad. So, but like, we expect that followers, in their minds, will also align with their presidential candidates, and in their minds sign this peace accord. We don't want you to go to the polling unit and be overzealous. You know, I mean, the obedience have continued to be accused of a lot of bullying and all of those things. Don't get to the polling unit and be overzealous on that day. It's not the place and time to go force anybody to vote for your candidate. When you get there, do the one that you know you have gone to do. I mean, we've had ample time to do campaigns all over the country to this day. If officially the window for campaigns have been closed by INEC, individuals still have the opportunity to do door-to-door campaigning use your mouth, talk to the next person. I feel like don't try.
Campaigns are done and dusted. So
yeah, I mean officially, but people, I can't go to my next door neighbor's house and tell them why they should be voting for Sorore, or voting for the 18th political party. I can still do that, but I feel like those are not conversations to be having. When you are at your polling unit, so that you do not, be the reason why violence breaks out. Why are you talking to me like that?
Okay, so I actually like what the president said when he said he was calling out on those saddled with the responsibility of conducting the election to allow the electorate to choose who governs them. So let's not be in a situation where we go to our polling units and somebody's trying to foist a candidate on us, or tell us you must vote for this particular candidate. So allow people to exercise their free will in terms of their choice of candidates at the polling units. Then there's another thing he also said, which I also like. He says he's appealing to candidates to accept the outcome of the election and seek legal redress if dissatisfied. So instead of you asking that people should be, beaten up, people should be, gunned down or maimed, the best thing for you to do, if you feel you're dissatisfied with the outcome of the election, you seek legal redress, and the court will address it for us. But again, we don't also want a situation where elections are being decided in courts in Nigeria. Let the people, because it makes us feel that our votes do not count. And if you look backwards and begin to ask questions about what was the sudden surge in registration of young people for PVCs and all of that, you find out that a lot of reasons that was given to the hitherto what do you call it now, hitherto voter apathy was the fact that a lot of people said, look, my vote will not count at the end of the day. So what's the essence of me going to cast a vote that is not going to count? So it's better I just sleep in my house, or I just play football on the streets of Nigeria and forget about voting. But I think that that consciousness, that awareness of everybody wanting to be involved in the process, to electing their leaders came up, and that's why we had that surge. So let us not find ourselves in that situation again, where we say that elections are not decided by the electorate. Rather, elections will be decided in courts.
I think
because it will still bring us back to where we have serious voter apathy.
I think that's very important. And just, as a way of landing this particular conversation, I think I would like to talk a little bit about the position of traditional rulers in this election, as it were. Now, I know that in some communities prior to the election, we have the town criers, cry around the village, telling the entire community who they should be voting for in the coming election. So I've heard of situations where you find out that when you go, I do community programs. So when we go to those places, you would hear the traditional rulers keep telling you that, we've always voted for this particular political party. We would town cry, we would tell them, and you find out that when some communities tell you that we gave 100% to a particular political party, they actually did give 100% to these political parties. Because, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and they said you will find out that nobody votes for some other parties except the parties that have been town cried over by the community. So I'm saying, it means that the traditional rulers at this time also have a very, very big part to play in the result of the election.
Of course, they're influential.
Yeah, they're very influential. So I also feel like the peace treaty signing also gets to our traditional rulers mentally. Now, you should be able to guard the peace of your community, because violence is like pocket. It starts from a polling unit in a particular locality. So at this time, traditional rulers also should send out word to people living in their environment. And I feel like like you said, this is not the time to pressure anybody to vote for any particular person. If you can educate your community members of your most viable candidates, the people you think best, why you think best, that these people can be elected, that'll be fine. Because I also realized that certain people in the community have not been educated beyond educated enough beyond the fact that we have APC and PDP So some people do not even know. Some people are still going to go with to the polling unit. They don't even know who are the presidential candidates of this party, but they've always known PDP, they've always known APC. So I'm still seeing that we have a window of education to be done by grassrooters, and I hope that other political parties at this point will take a leaf from here, and after this election drive their structures down into the grassroots such that you can be able to generate followership right from the communities. And I think that will help in the elections that will come afterwards. But we are ready for these elections. But now we'll just put a break on these stories and move straight to the news brief desk, where we have Mary Joseph on standby. When we return, there's several conversations, several things we will be talking about this morning, and would like for you to return. And of course, let's enjoy the rest of the ride.
The countdown is on as Nigeria decides who becomes its next president. The 2023 elections is upon us, and the stage is set. At Spectrum TV, we have just one job: to keep you professionally and effectively informed round the clock as Nigeria decides. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio opens Friday, 24th February, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on the D-Day, Saturday, 25th February, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. as well as on Sunday, 26th February, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join the conversation on our phone lines on 0704 541 7707 090 222 31011 and 0813 775 8639, as well as on all our social media platforms. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio. As always, join the conversation and watch us broaden your horizon.
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword. All political programs shall observe the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and other extant laws relating to broadcasting. All broadcasting stations must adhere to the principles of pluralism and ensure equitable airtime to all political parties or views. All political programs shall adhere to the general principles of legality, decency, and truthfulness. For the avoidance of doubt, the broadcast of a political campaign, jingle, announcement, or any other form of partisan party identification or symbol ends not later than 24 hours before polling day. Hate speech is prohibited. Be professional. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer Management.
The Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by them, our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigeria Police Force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian Police Force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court, my lord.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
One truth not often told.
is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
As of state and government, Secretary General, delegates.
This was the Lagos voting for Spectrum TV to improve 45 seats to counting.
A very good morning to you and welcome to your morning news brief on Spectrum, live from Uyo. I am Mary Joseph. We begin the news brief with the Economic Community of West African Observers mission to Nigeria, as it has implored the federal government to be proactive in addressing the fuel and cash scarcity citizens of the country are facing. The mission, led by former President of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma, gave this admonition during his visit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Oyema, in Abuja. ECOWAS further noted that the insecurity crisis in the country should be resolved before the February 25th election. Elsewhere, the Supreme Court on Wednesday fixed March 3rd, 2023 for its judgment in 10 governors' suits against the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria over the new Naira note deadline. The shifting of the judgment date dashed the hope of millions of Nigerians who had hoped the Apex Court would end the case ahead of the presidential elections slated for Saturday. Away from that, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, on Wednesday raised the alarm over alleged plans by politicians to buy votes in kind and cash ahead of Saturday's general elections. He made the claim during an interview on Channels Television, a network station, that said the 2023 verdict, the EFCC chairman, who confirmed that all of its officers had been deployed to monitor the polls across 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. He, however, urged citizens to report vote buying, selling, and other evidence of financial malpractices. On the foreign scene, several rockets were fired yesterday before dawn from the Gaza Strip towards Israel. According to the Israeli army and the witnesses from the Palestinian side, 6 rockets were fired, 5 were intercepted by its air defense system, while 1 fell in an uninhabited area. In sports, Solomon Agbalakba scored the decisive goal as the Flying Eagles of Nigeria defeated host Egypt 1-0 to record their first win at the 2023 African Under-20 Cup of Nations. The Flying Eagles moved from bottom to second position on the table following the hard-fought win. That's all in our news brief this morning. We'll bring you details of this and more in our news at 12. I am Mary Joseph. Let's head back to Rising Channel where we have Janice and Uyai on standby. Do have a wonderful morning.
As of state and government, Secretary General, delegates.
This was the Lagos voting for Spectrum TV to improve 45 seats to counting.
The countdown is on as Nigeria decides who becomes its next president. The 2023 elections is upon us and the stage is set. At Spectrum TV, we have just one job: to keep you professionally and effectively informed round the clock as Nigeria decides. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio opens Friday, 24th February, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on the D-Day, Saturday, 25th February, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. as well as on Sunday, 26th February, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join the conversation on our phone lines on 0704 541 7707 090 222 31011 and 0813 775 8639, as well as on all our social media platforms. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio. As always, join the conversation and watch us broaden your horizon.
All right, thanks for still being there. Of course, Rise and Shine Daily continues with very topical issues being discussed this morning. And we just had Mary Joseph come back from the news brief desk where she had to tell us all the stories making the rounds. But again, to keep you up to speed with some of the major conversations we've been having. Of course, we've talked about the distribution of essential and sensitive materials by INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, across the 36 states, showing their readiness for February 25, of course, this Saturday, where we will be having the presidential and National Assembly elections held in Nigeria. Let's not forget, the spotlight is on Nigeria on Saturday. And away from that, we also talked about, still on the elections, the peace treaty, the second for this year, that was signed between the 18 political gladiators, the 18 political presidential candidates now of the 18 political parties yesterday. Of course, we saw the president in attendance of that. We also saw a lot of other dignitaries in the political stake, climate in Nigeria in participation of that peace treaty. We just hope that at the end of the day, peace will prevail over Nigeria and over our elections. But right about now, we'll just
take our trending story. Yes, there is a big issue on the streets of Nigeria at this time, as there were bags of PVCs found in Anambra forest. Thousands and thousands of PVCs said to have been dumped in a particular forest in Anambra State. Now, the Anambra State Police Command said it had ordered an investigation into unraveling the circumstances surrounding the alleged discovery of a bag full of permanent voters' cards belonging to the Independent National Electoral Commission. A hunter name withheld found a bag containing the PVCs in a forest in the Akamili community in Nnewi, Anambra State on Tuesday, and later took it to the premises of a popular radio station, Authority FM. The manager of the radio station, Mr. Charles Ede, who spoke to journalists, said he was off duty when the cards were brought, but his employees had confirmed the developments to him. Now, the video of the PVCs, which was made in the compound of the radio house in Nnewi and which has been trending online, showed that most of the PVCs belonged to people of the area. The radio station's employee, who ran a short commentary on the video, urged those who had yet to get their PVCs to come to the premises of the FM to check if they could find theirs. Of course, these PVCs were said to be owned by people from the Nnewi South local government area. The police has also given a word. The Commissioner of Police, CP Echeng, has ordered investigation into the video to unravel the circumstances surrounding the incident and possibly arrest the suspects behind the act. Therefore, the command is constrained to make further comments and development to the regard of the situation. But of course, we have the video right there. Of course,
members of the community, trying to sort out to see whether they can find their own PVCs.
And when I saw the video, the one that the OAP from the station made a commentary on, you could see the big bag of PVCs right there. And it's good to see that they opened it up for the people of the area, of which they have ascertained that the PVCs belong to most of them, to come and collect it. Now, watching this particular video, I'm just hoping that nobody also tries to be quick in that moment, because we would have hoped that either the bags would have been returned to INEC to distribute it to the people, but then again, we are going to say the window has closed. INEC might have just received the bag, dumped it somewhere and continued. But maybe as some civil service to the society, we might have had a more organized system of doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, we might have had people come up from the community, volunteer and sort it out, and then it should be easier for people to be held accountable. You come take, instead of just like sprawling it out there. Look at that all over the floor, and then people just walk in and try to sort it out themselves. We are going to still get a lot of these PVCs destroyed through this manner, and we just hope that nobody tries to hijack the process. But it's good to see that. But there's a lot of problem with this, Janice. This is a deliberate attempt by whoever we do not know at this time to disenfranchise the people of the Southeast. There are already conversations of some form of disenfranchisement going on there as a result of the tension that has been going on in the area. So there are just speculations. Will they be able to come out and vote? Will they want to come out and vote? Those questions have been there. Now still seeing that someone is deliberate to disenfranchise this same set of people in the country. Go to an INEC office in the community, whisk away cards and go and dump it in a forest. Why exactly? I know there are several reactions also to these videos and response, like on social media, people saying, oh, it's planted, it's planted. Someone might have doctored this. If they really did not want you to vote, they would have burned the PVCs. Excuses and excuses. Now it's good to see that this is in the limelight where everybody can see. This is just discovered for this village in Newi. What of other places that have gone unaccounted for? I mean, we had calls from Jos, people saying they cannot find their PVCs. INEC cannot give them a response. And we are beginning to also say, are we sure that we are not going to have more people get into forests around our localities to search? This is just a one-off. What has happened to all the other local governments in the country?
Yeah, let's even bring it back to Akwa Ibom State. I remember also that we had a situation here where Barrister Morkman said, that in Ikono local government area, a particular PDP member was found with several thousands PVC cards in his possession, and the question is, how did he get these PVC cards and all of that? So it's a matter of Nigerians saying that, look, a lot of people are going to be disenfranchised. I know that there's been arguments about the fact that, okay, so since we are going to be using the beavers machine, it's going to curtail a lot of multiple voting and all of that, and the issue of vote buying too will be considerably cut down as well. So the mode of operation right now is to see how people can be disenfranchised, and that's by seizing PVC cards of these people to make sure that they don't even come out to vote in the first place. But the question now will be, who is going to build the cards in this kind of situation? Who are we going to hold responsible for the misplacement of these cards? Now still in Anambra State, of course, the community spokesperson, or more like the police spokesperson now, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, is saying that the command has not even gotten the complaint yet, and yet the information is everywhere on social media trending. And he went on further to say that the command has not received any such complaint from the concerned authority following the emergence of a video claiming that a hunter found some PVCs in a forest at Newi. Now, the good thing about, the social media, while we are saying this, there's also a mechanism where, you can fact check some of these things, if this is true or if it's not true. And you have somebody as an OAP come out to say that, yes, this was actually brought to their office, and, all of that. So it's not like it's a lie
someone's
situation
trying to cook,
or somebody trying to cook something. So there are pictorial evidences that this is happening, and this has happened, and somebody actually brought this and dumped in the premises of that particular radio station. So I think that the police also has to swing into action, since they say they will probe into the matter, swing into action and see who the culprits are.
Is it really possible to find the culprits? I mean, it was discovered in the forest.
Not the culprits in terms of who brought it to, but again,
like in terms of who might have masterminded this. I'm really thinking, is there a way for us to find that out?
Then INEC has some questions to answer, because how did these PVCs in that number of bulk
from your office, and you did not send out any information that you suddenly came to your office on so day to realize that thousands of PVCs had been stolen from your office. I actually agree with you. INEC in that particular local government in that state needs to answer, because I mean, we did not have any information of any one crime file from INEC in that particular environment that something had happened to amount to the fact that PVCs were missing. I'm even thinking another excuse might be, in Anambra, did we have any INEC office being burnt down? I'm trying to couple. If it happened in Anambra State, now that might be an excuse. That when people, when they broke into INEC offices, they might have,
scattered away some of those PVCs and all of that. But if INEC had come out to tell Nigerians, okay, so PVCs have been carted away, but this is what we are going to do. It's not going to be a problem. Those PVCs that have been carted away, we are going to see how the owners of these PVCs will be able to get their PVCs. I know, I think we had someone even call yesterday, the first female, it was the first female, somebody called yesterday from Anambra State saying the same thing, that they've not been able to get their PVC and they don't know how they're going to be voted, for the forthcoming election. So serious issues. And these are some of the things I've always been saying, that INEC should try to exonerate themselves. They are only the electoral umpire that we have. And so we don't want a situation where Nigerians will think that INEC is being biased, or there's some kind of connivances, between INEC and some political parties to, deliberately disenfranchise a lot of people not to be able to, exercise their civic responsibility on Saturday and, on March 11.
Well, we are grateful that this discovery is made. At least there's going to be a number of people in the southeast there in Anambra State being able to vote again because of this particular discovery. Then if these kinds of discoveries are also made in more places, we're going to see that more people will be, given the opportunity to go out there and vote. Now, I think this is the risk that we are standing upon. If we have some people deliberately disenfranchised by one thing or the other, a result, a fault by the system, a fault that is not from the system, I think it behooves on the citizens of this country who have been able to get their PVCs and have been registered by INEC to have done so, to contribute in their civic responsibility to this country. Because at this time, we now know that we have a percentage of Nigerians that will be disenfranchised because of several reasons. Now, you who has your PVC, I think it will be unfair to the growth of democracy and the growth of this country for you to sit back at home and say you're not going to go out and vote. Whoever your choice is, just go out and vote. I think we have something on our station that says, that one person who doesn't go out to vote, you are empowering the person that you might not even want to be in power to get on that seat because your vote did not go to who you want. So I think it's important at this time, as we all see this information flying around, you who has your PVC, you better go out and make use of it. I mean, a lot of people are asking if you're not tired of the way things are going in this country,
of the shaggy that we are seeing.
I wonder how you're going to survive it. And the surprising thing is, we are not going for another 2 years. It's not like, okay, in a few more years, in 1 more year, Buhari's administration is going to be over. No, you are putting in someone who might be running for the next 8 years.
Definitely.
So you better sit down, count your cost, and be sure that you want to be under this person's rulership for the next 8 years.
Yeah, definitely. And so we'll just take a pause now on that particular trending story in Anambra State. We are also hoping that the police will swing into action as they have promised and bring the perpetrators to book. But we also hope that a lot more people will come out in their numbers en masse to vote also in Anambra State. Let's now take our Spotlight Dailies, of course, where we get to share some of the details on the front pages of our national dailies with you, and also give you the opportunity to call in and give your contributions on them. Spotlight Dailies.
All right, welcome back. At this time, we just take our front page of newspaper. Let's start with the Punch this morning. A really surprising turnout for the newspapers this morning. So let's take the Punch newspaper, and the big story on the front page of the Punch is actually Atiku Abubakar, the man whose time has come. The other stories that could find a spot on the front page was INEC distributes election materials as Buhari meets security chiefs. President warns INEC security agents against failure, hand over 12 billion naira security equipment. Okay, that's basically all. Then we have your politicians stockpiling old notes to buy votes, says EFCC chairman. That story can be found on page 18, and that's all we have on the front page of the Punch this morning.
Okay, let's quickly take our next paper, and that will be This Day newspaper. And This Day newspaper says, of course, we also have Atiku Abubakar, the man whose time has come, or take majority part of the front page there. But a few stories that we have here says National Security Council election will hold as scheduled, and the writer says police probing some governors for allegedly inciting violence. Okay, we also have that US harps on peaceful, free, fair voting process in Nigeria. And then PDP Presidential Campaign Committee condemns attack on TV radio station in Rivers State. Okay, and then something here on the Naira swap. It says over 500 billion Naira yet to be returned to CBN, says EFCC boss. And those are just the stories there that found their way into This Day newspaper this morning.
Really found their way. Okay, we'll take Daily Sun next. Daily Sun is our next newspaper for this morning, and alas, Atiku Abubakar is still the major story on the front page of Daily Sun. And we have Naira redesign, Supreme Court defers ruling, adjourns till March 3rd, says it can't be used as scapegoat by federal government, states. Businesses count losses as banks hold back new notes. Those stories can be found on page 8 and page 23. Presidential polls will hold as scheduled, says federal government. It says police, other security agencies ready for exercise. President, INEC chairman in phone conversation, page 8. Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, 15 others sign fresh peace accord. Our election must work, says Buhari. Izeze, the Guardian MD heads Media Complaints Commission. Okay, so it's the election, of course, page 26. And that is all the stories that we have on the front page of Daily Sun. I nearly said on the front page of Atiku Abubakar.
Did you take the Naira redesign story? Supreme Court defers ruling?
Yeah,
okay.
That was the first one.
Okay, so let's move now to our very last paper, and that will be the Nigerian Tribune. And of course, the Nigerian Tribune has Atiku Abubakar as the major story there. The man whose time has come is what is there as the bigger picture of the Nigerian Tribune. But we have all the stories that says court orders interim forfeiture of 14 Kogi government properties in Lagos, Abuja, UAE. Okay, and then Supreme Court fixes March 3rd for judgment on new Naira policy. Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, others sign peace accord. And then this one says we won't transmit raw figures of election results, INEC chairman declares. So those are just some of the stories that we can find on our national dailies this morning. But obviously all the stories tilting towards the elections. Of course, we know that we just have one day in between for us to have a general election, which is on the 25th of February, and that's just the Saturday here. So the phone lines will be opened, of course, to allow you be a part of our conversation this morning. Remember, I told you that Nigerians today have the show. Call in and let us know your thoughts on the, the issues on our front pages. Of course, let's even look at this one that says, what do you think about the peace treaty? Yes, what do you think about the peace treaty that has been signed? We had one signed in September last year, where we had some presidential aspirants not even wanting to be part of it, and this is the second one, unlike in 2015 where we had just one peace treaty being signed. Okay, so what do you think about the peace treaty? How is it going to affect the outcome of the elections? Do you think that it is going to guard the elections in any way and cause peace to happen for us? Do you also think that, at the end of it, that presidential candidates will take the results, the outcome of the election just the way it comes, just like the president has said? You say, take the elections, the outcome of the elections, the way it has come, and if you're not satisfied with it, seek judicial redress in court. So the phone lines are open. Join us on the show this morning. This show is for Nigerians. Express your concerns. What do you also think about what happened in Anambra State yesterday, where bags of PVC's cards were found? Let's take that call. Yeah.
All right, let's take this call now this morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm really enjoying this show, Rise and Shine show. You guys are trying more power to your elbow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm calling regarding to this issue of this PVC. I don't know what's happening in this country.
Please, can we know you first? Can we know you? Can we know you before you continue?
My name is Austin.
Okay.
My name is Austin.
You're calling from where, please?
I'm calling from Kano.
Okay, go ahead then.
Thank you.
I don't really know what is happening in this issue of this PVC. That's a deliberate act. That PVC was scattered away by INEC. INEC have to answer, have questions to answer about that PVC. They try to differentiate people. I don't know what's happening. Whether this country is caught or doomed. I don't understand. That thing that happened is a deliberate act. It's uncalled for. As a country, as Nigeria, we call ourselves giant of Africa. We see this kind of mess, any sort of mess. This is a disgrace to our country. These are things that are not supposed to be happening in this country. I don't know what is happening. Eh?
All right.
I don't know what is happening.
All right.
I don't understand. I don't. It's rubbish.
Thank you so much, Austin.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
thank
Austin,
you.
Thank you. We appreciate your call. Would also like to encourage you, our dear viewers, when you call, please mind your language. Mind the language that you use on air so that you do not upset another person.
Yeah,
but I
very
mean,
important.
we have him there airing his views. Of course, it's something that is very painful. All right. We have another caller on the line. Hello. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Morning, it is Isa calling from Bauchi.
Isa from Bauchi. All right, thank you.
So, my own is, as you are saying, that PVCs were found in the forest. So, if we really want to curtail this problem, who went there and found them first? Let the person be exposed to the people.
It's been said that it was a hunter who discovered the bag in the forest and brought it to the radio station. Why do you want to use the hunter as a scapegoat?
Pardon?
No, go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, so actually we cannot just say it is INEC that do this thing, because there is no evidence to attack INEC or to say it is INEC that went ahead and do it. And by the way, do we know those PVCs are there for the people of Anambra State or for the people of other states?
We've addressed that. Okay, I think that's basically all. We've addressed that issue this morning. It's for the people of Nnewi local government area. Most of them are currently sorting out for their PVCs at the said radio station.
Okay.
Yep.
So if that is the case, so at least we need to, a thorough investigation have to be carried out to ascertain how does it happen. Because this INEC gives this PVC to the state, and the state went ahead and give it to the local government official. So let's find out from that particular local government official how were they missing from them? That's just how this thing can be addressed.
All right, thank you so much, Isa.
Because someone is responsible for them. So how does it go missing from his hand? That's a very simple thing to do. We should not be attacking, condemning people all the everywhere, since someone is given the responsibility of doing this thing. So let that person answer how does it happen. That's my take. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Isa. I think very cogent, you know, conversation coming from Isa. Let's probe before we even begin to, you know, point fingers to INEC. You know, let's probe further to know exactly. Now, remember also that you said there's been series of attack on INEC facilities across the country, and majorly in southeastern Nigeria too. So it's possible that, you know, during the attack, some of those PVCs must have been carted away, and not necessarily saying that INEC corroborating or conniving with any form of any political party, you know, to disenfranchise, deliberately disenfranchise the people of Anambra State. So that's an angle. So it's not just saying pointing fingers directly at INEC. I know that the box drops on their table right now, okay, because they are just about the only people that give out PVCs. They are not even saying that, okay, so let me go and drop it with your local government chairman so that your local government chairman will give out the PVCs, or even your local councillors. No, INEC is not doing that. So even if you're collecting your PVCs at your local area, you know, you're still going to be collecting from INEC officials, because they are the ones, authorized people to give out PVCs, and not any kind of private individual to do that. So the box still drops on the table as to how these PVCs left this particular area, and maybe they can also trace to what area the PVCs are coming from. Of course, we know that PVCs have codes, you know, so they could use the codes to trace the particular INEC office where this actually was. But let's have that call, please.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes,
Please turn down the volume of your television set.
Okay. My name is Ode.
Your name is?
Yes.
What's your name, please? Babatunde. Where are you calling from?
Yes.
Please, we can still hear ourselves. We can still hear ourselves. Turn down the volume of your television set. We can still hear ourselves.
From Badagry.
Okay, fantastic. Go ahead.
From Badagry.
All right, Babatunde from Badagry. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes. You see, I want to blame INEC. Reason is that INEC issue cards to REC. And REC, I don't know how managed the PVC was snatched from them to the bush, and they did never reported to police. Now, an hunter located it in the forest. Who are you to blame? Is it not the REC? Meanwhile, we can collect our ID card in a day when you want to print it. Why not release our PVC to us? Immediately you capture our system and let us go. You created this anarchy. That is PVC. That is the INEC official. So I said the INEC chairman to intervene the REC in that way.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Babatunde from Badagry. We appreciate your time and your contribution. Like he said, there is a system put in place for, you know, all of the distribution of PVCs, and it brings us to the question of accountability and transparency with public offices.
Before we even talk of accountability, you remember that we've also had like a resource person that said almost the same thing, sharing the same you know, sentiment with Babatunde, that if ID cards can be printed like instantaneously and given to people.
If
Why
your
can't
debit
your
cards from your
PVCs,
banks too.
yes, can be done that way? Why can't PVCs be done in the same way where INEC captures you and just prints your PVC and gives to you? And so we don't even have the long queues of people trying to get PVCs and all of that. And you saying that, oh, my PVC is lost, or I don't know the local government area where I'm supposed to get my PVCs and all of that. So it still brings us back to a situation where we will still be blaming INEC for maybe situations where we are not even supposed to blame INEC in the first place.
I think that brings us to a big area of how technologically behind we are as a nation, and even INEC. You know, it takes us back to the question of technology. Are we even ready to move ahead with the rest of the world? Because we are lacking behind. It's even basic technology to say that you can register for your PVC now and print it, because technology has closed the gap of using months to process those things, but Nigeria still seems to be behind. Okay, let's take this particular call. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Tony from Benue State.
Tony from Benue. Thanks for calling again this morning. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I think investigation has to be done before people decide who is involved in this. If you start blaming now, at the end, maybe you are blaming it may be wrong. As it is now, do we know that politicians, according to alleged, that they are buying voters' cards? They are not buying it in order to use it. They are buying it to silence where their opponent has power base. And this is the National Orientation Agency, in state level, in local government level, they are not doing anything. And yet we have their offices everywhere. In some states, people don't even know that National Orientation State Orientation Agency exists there. In local level, people don't know that they exist there because they are not doing their work. This is the time to tell people that the PVC works. It is not like before that politicians, they go into one room and thumbprint, and then before you know, they have started announcing that person is the winner of the election. This time around, people have to vote you before you become declared. There is some certain manipulation that they do in the past that is not permitted today. And for that reason, they are looking for a means to survive. Let us hold our PVC tight. And let nobody deceive us with 2,000 to buy a PVC off or 5,000 to buy a PVC off.
All right.
Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Great one there. I think I'll just hold first to his last statement. Let citizens hold their PVCs tight, especially for those who have collected it so far. Don't sell it for 2,000 naira.
And then you spread the 2,000 naira across 8 years and you find out that
0.0%, Janice. Let's not even go there. Let's take this next call and I'll deal with something that Tony just talked about. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, that call seems not to be coming through now. Something that Tony raised.
Hello,
good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Drop call. Something Tony raised is the fact that we've not even paid attention to that so much. Also, the fact that it's not just INEC or now the security agencies that are the agencies involved in elections.
Yes.
We have. Hello. Good morning.
Okay.
Feel free to send us WhatsApp and text messages if you're trying to get across to us and the phone lines are jammed. Send us WhatsApp and text messages and we would also read it at this time. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Okay, network can always be like that sometimes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Favor from Owerri.
Okay, Favor from Owerri. Fantastic.
Yes.
I actually needed the Southeasterners to start calling in. Let's know exactly what's happening. Please go ahead, Favor.
Please, this PVC issue is appalling. In fact, I don't know whom to blame on this issue, but I want to make a suggestion if INEC will take that suggestion. And that suggestion is making use of technology. We have come to a level where a virtual card is is now in vogue. We can now get numbers. People will take their numbers to the polling booth, and when they mention their numbers, they will be scanned and they vote instead of using card. Because since the card is not, it's been done like this. So that is my take.
Okay,
thank
fantastic.
you so
The use of technology to do virtual cards, you know, instead of lining people up several hours to try to collect their PVCs. Fantastic. Let's just look at a few bits of tweets, how Nigerians are actually reacting to this particular situation, you know, on the streets of Twitter. We'll take that right about now.
Okay, so whilst
Yes.
we wait for the tweet to come up, several things, you know, we're having this conversation. Like I said earlier, we seem to be lacking behind in technology because some of the conversations we're having now, we shouldn't have even had it. We are having where the defense of the court right now is that there is no constitutional room for people in diaspora to vote. But if we had made room in technology, that could have been readdressed in the constitution, and we'll have Nigerians in diaspora being able to vote. So there's technological gap in what we are doing in terms of election.
Yeah.
And if we have seen that the political elite in Nigeria have decided that vote buying is the thing they want to trade with, I think the easiest navigation for INEC should be to lean on technology, right?
Okay, yeah.
So let's just take this particular call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Very well, thank you. What's your name?
From Kaduna.
Oh, Mohammed Dambaba. Go ahead.
With regard of this PPC missing in the bush, the security should intensify searching. Make sure get who lost the bags last point, so that you can tell the security how did he lost the bag without issuing the security report. Because the INEC must have the report from the officer concerned who lost the bag at the last point. That should be the answer. So
Okay.
the security should be inside the issue and make the finding.
Mm.
Who lost the bag at the last point, and when, and how, and why did he not report the issue to the security agents? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mohammed Dambaba from Kaduna State. Serious concerns there. Of course, Nigerians reacting from different states across the country this morning on how the bag actually went to the forest, and more like the hunter should be the first culprit, you know, in terms of investigation now. But if our tweets are ready, we just take that to see how Nigerians are also reacting to this particular issue on Twitter. So let's look at this now. Nkame, of course, hashtag Peter Obi 2023. It says, Newi not PVC collection update. The PVCs have been sorted and a lot of people have been able to collect their PVCs. PVC collection continues tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. And of course, the fire, whatever. And then this one is from JP. He says, of course, still on the Newi update. It says, they took the sorted PVCs back to one of the wards in Umudim, Newi this evening inside Obi Umudim, and a lot of people have actually collected. The remaining PVCs have been taken to the OBs in different wards where they fall. Collection continues tomorrow. Okay, and this is from Nefertiti. First Ladyship. It says massive disenfranchisement in the southeast. Those in Newi North local government area should rush to Authority FM and collect their PVCs. Obedient, spread the word massively. At INEC, clap for yourself. Okay, so Nigerians reacting to the Newi PVC collection saga right there. But again, I like the fact that this has come to the open, and Nigerians, being very concerned people, have also spread the news, and a lot of people as at this morning or even yesterday have also been able to get their PVCs, which means that a lot more people that were supposed to be disenfranchised in Anambra, Newi in particular, will be able to, you know, exercise their civic responsibility on Saturday.
Yes, that's something to rejoice over and be glad about. I mean, we're talking thousands of PVCs, and at this point, some people have been able to find their PVCs. So we expect that the numbers also be rising from that end, depending on who they intend to support. A lot of allegations and things being thrown about, but we'll just take a very quick break now, and when we return, of course, the phone lines will remain open, and we'll bring you some more conversations around the issues of elections, preparedness of INEC, preparedness of Nigerians, and what is the state of things towards the elections in your area. Let's take the quick break now. When we return, of course, Rise and Shine continues.
The countdown is on as Nigeria decides who becomes its next president. The 2023 elections is upon us, and the stage is set. At Spectrum TV, we have just one job: to keep you professionally and effectively informed round the clock as Nigeria decides. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio opens Friday, 24th February, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on the D-Day, Saturday, 25th February, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. as well as on Sunday, 26th February, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join the conversation on our phone lines on 0704 541 7707 090 222 31011 and 0813 775 8639, as well as on all our social media platforms. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio. As always, join the conversation and watch us broaden your horizon.
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword. All political programs shall observe the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and other extant laws relating to broadcasting. All broadcasting stations must adhere to the principles of pluralism and ensure equitable airtime to all political parties or views. All political programs shall adhere to the general principles of legality, decency, and truthfulness. For the avoidance of doubt, the broadcast of a political campaign, jingle, announcement, or any other form of partisan party identification or symbol ends not later than 24 hours before polling day. Hate speech is prohibited. Be professional. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer Management.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court, my lord.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's still Rise and Shine, and we're coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. This is Rise and Shine, where we bring you topical conversations of things happening in Nigeria. The topic for the next couple of days will remain the general elections. It's been one of the most anticipated elections in Nigeria's history because a lot of conversation and trajectory has shifted for the first time in the history of Nigeria's democracy. But we're also seeing different twists and turns in this election, reactions from Nigerians, and also some of the things, some of the powers that we are seeing playing across the 36 states of the Federation at this time. Just before we went on that break, we opened up our phone lines to have conversations with you, our dear viewers, of things happening. We had a trending story of PVCs being discovered in a forest in Anambra State, and currently people are being able to sort out and find their PVCs to go ahead and vote on February 25th. We also have a lot of conversations that we are handling this morning, top of which is we are also still waiting for direct statements from the leaders of these agencies to come out and address Nigerians. But I think the president has done quite a lot of statements, but I'm sure maybe by Friday would have one closing in on the
still on the Anambra issue. I know that Nigerians are expecting somebody like the INEC boss, Mahmoud Yakubu, to say something. Just taking a glossary look at the INEC official website or Twitter handle now, I can't even find
any mention of that case
or even mention of that case that happened in Anambra State. So we are wondering, what is INEC saying, because Nigerians are directly alleging that there's some form of connivance on the electoral umpire, and this is not the right time to be having such allegations.
We've not even had Festus Okoye also come out and say anything. At least he's the publicity director
for voter education.
At least we would have heard that statement by now from him. So that's also further ties them to the lack of transparency and accountability to the system. Okay, let's take this particular call. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning, ladies.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Quentin. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Kingsley from Port Harcourt. Go ahead.
So I enjoyed your show. What you guys are doing, you guys are really doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
About the PVC that was found in the bush in Navy. I'm from that part of. I'm from Navy, Umujim to be precisely. That place, that's where I came from.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that PVC, INEC has a very huge question to answer about it. They are the brain behind the heart. So nobody will cut away PVC to go and dump in the bush without. So an individual can just enter into INEC office, carry PVC and go and dump in the bush. Somebody that has done that thing might have been bribed. I think it's a bribe. Somebody's behind it. Somebody has been bribed to do that thing.
Okay.
It's an act to differentiate people to enable people to display their voting rights on tomorrow, next tomorrow, 25th of December, and that thing is hazard. It's hazard. It's a slap on INEC's face. It's a slap on their face, and it's a very shameful act.
All right.
Something needs to be done about it.
All right.
And in most states, I think like this thing, people are facing this kind of problems in most states. In most states, people are unable to get their PVC cards up to now. And next tomorrow is election. People are unable to get their PVC card. And INEC are denying people of their PVC. And INEC are denying people of their right to vote.
Kingsley, let me ask you like a question. Let's not forget, some people have called and said we can't like blame INEC. Let's not forget that in some southeastern states and maybe even in Anambra, we've had INEC facilities get burned down. I'm saying this because of a statement you made. Don't you think that in the process of that arson that happened there, someone might have just carted away with one of the bags, and when they realized there's really nothing they could do with it, left it in the forest?
It in the forest.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think INEC don't have to be careless to that extent to allow an individual cut away with INEC card, because that card is in their custody.
All right. Thank you so much, Kingsley. Thank you so much, Kingsley, for your contribution.
Thank you.
Of course, our phone lines are still open. You can be a part of our conversation this morning. Let's know your thoughts on the general elections and, of course, to what happened in Anambra State. I think we have a call. Okay, dropped call. Let's know your thoughts as to what happened in Anambra State. What do you think? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
My name is Leon. I'm calling from Delta State.
Can you do us a favor? Just turn down the volume of your television sets.
Okay, please, we'd like to encourage you, when you want to place your call, turn down the volume of your television set. Let's avoid the holdback that we are having. It's too much noise for everybody. We looked at the fact that I was going to talk about the fact that we do not have just one agency that oversees the entire process of elections. I mean, we have the National Orientation Agency, and so far so good. We've not had so much communication between them.
National Orientation Agency basically is more like an education portal where they are supposed to educate the masses on different things now, not just all about the election, but because we are in an election period,
this should be a priority for them. Yes, this should be a priority for them. So it also means that information as to disenfranchisement of people happening in certain areas, we should have the attention of the NOA, drive to that particular area, because I mean, some people do not even know why they are going to be disenfranchised. INEC is not giving accountability. The National Orientation Agency, some of these bodies also should serve as watchdogs for each other. So NOA should be able to call INEC in this situation. We hear that this is happening. What is the explanation? I mean, you just talked about the fact that so far it's been almost 24 hours since the news of Anambra broke out, but we've not had an official INEC come out to give any statement.
Either debunking it, because a lot of Nigerians are saying, look, it is INEC that is deliberately doing this thing. So it's serious indictment on the part of INEC.
And then they're choosing to throw a blind eye to it at this time.
It doesn't make any sense. So let INEC come out, either say that we know about it or debunk it, that we do not know about it, but this is what we are going to be doing to try to probe and investigate the issue.
Even an apology, Janice, to the people of Newi. Even apologize first of all for this happening in the first place.
Let's take that call,
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Muhammad. I'm calling from Yobe State.
Benue State, Muhammad. Okay, I think I got Muhammad.
Yes, I heard you talking about election so much.
Yes, go ahead.
So I just want to give I just want to give INEC some advice. Now we remain, I think, 2 days for election. So we have to participate during this election. And, we are all Nigerians. So we have to show our people always crying about this issue. We don't have enough money in our country. So now we have to participate and vote the right person. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, there are 4 parties. I know only 4 parties. So there is PDP, APC, NNPP, and I don't know the future of this party, but
Labour Party.
We just want to vote the right person from the APC or PDP anyway.
All right, thank you very much, Mohammed.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mohammed from Benue. We appreciate your time and your call.
I think what he's basically trying to say is fine, the elections are in a couple of days, a couple of hours from now, and there's no money. So again, he also talked about the political parties he knows, which brings us back to the fact that a lot of people are not educated properly on how many political parties we have, what are the logos of these political parties.
Some people know the name of the candidates.
Yeah, they don't even know the political parties. So they are also in that situation where, oh, let's just go for the party that we already know, which is, you know, between APC and PDP. But let's just take this call.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Drop call. And I think, you know, just stemming from what you just said last, at this point, it's on the other political parties because it's their loss. You didn't drive home your campaign strong enough for people to know that you exist.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There are some people on the streets of the internet that know about the Labour Party and NNPP. But what of the grassroots? As that person from Benue who is even enlightened to an extent, you know, says he knows Peter Obi, he doesn't know his political party. So it means that you're going to have that kind of person, in spite of everything going on in the country, choosing maybe a party 5 because he doesn't know what party person A or B is, although we hear the person's name. So it still boils down to, at this point, it will be time for, you know, political parties also to also evaluate how well they did during their campaigns. Can you measure it? How far did you reach? And I think we're going to have a conversation about the use of social media in this whole politics. I think it has also veiled the eyes of the true state of things to political parties. Some of them might not realize how not far-reaching they are, or they also are not. Do you understand? You have a lot of buzz on the internet, but does that translate to the fact that people in the grassroots also know that you exist? And even if we are going to generate numbers from people online, is it going to be enough to give you victory at the polls? When we have a lot of people in our local governments be like, okay, all we know are the two parties that have always been.
I think it also brings me very quickly now to, you know, one of the comments you said in the course of discussing, you know, the campaigns and even the elections before now. I think that was sometime last year where you said that we should get to a point where even INEC begins to see how they can design, you know, the logos of these different political parties alongside the faces of the candidate that represents the political parties, because somebody knows the candidate, does not know the political party that this candidate belongs to. So let's have a situation where we have logos with matching faces of the different political parties and their candidates. But quickly, let's look at messages that have dropped for us on the show this morning. This is from Ventures, and from Benue State. He says, good morning. I only want to advise that no one should convince you or convince us to sell our PVCs. It's a legal document. We might use it someday, somewhere, so let us be wise. Thank you so much, Ventures.
Thank you. Okay, so we have this other one from Jola Day from Oyo. He says, good morning. With due respect, the investigation should start from INEC office in that local government where people are expected to collect their PVCs. Thank you. End of quotes, end of story. Thank you so much, Jolade. It should start from there. I mean, we've even had some of our callers say the same thing. Just go straight to the INEC office there. Did you report a case of missing PVCs at any time in the course of your, you know, work in the past 1 year, in the past 6 months? Did you report it? No. Why? You know, that's where you should start from. We're not just, it's not even a matter of we're just trying to blame INEC. They are the first port of call at this point. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Two sisters.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Everything.
Everything is fine. We're grateful.
I'm Mr. Barita calling from Niger State.
Okay, oh, fantastic. Good morning.
That PVC that's happening in Anambra State is very unfortunate. That they cover the quantity of those PVC. But my advice is that those that already have their own PVC, they should not be discouraged by that. They should go out and vote any candidate of their choice. They should not be discouraged because that kind of thing happens. They should go out and vote. Then the other man that called from Benue that says they don't know. As by now, campaigns have moved around. Everybody who is willing to vote must know who to vote for by now. Nobody can tell you this party is not popular. This one, they have done their campaign for some time now. So it should not be an excuse unless you don't want to vote. If not, by now, as of today, you know who you want to vote for if you are serious to vote. Thank you very much for your good work.
Thank you,
All right,
Mr.
thank
Baridan.
you.
I think at this point, he's even like the last call we can actually take
last.
because we are up. And I like the way his conversation landed.
No, again, yeah, just to correct that. The last caller, or rather, what was his name now?
Baridan.
Kingsley.
Okay.
Was it Kingsley? No, Mohammed from Benue did not say he doesn't know.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, he only said he knows a Peter Obi, but he does not know
I'm
the
sure he knows
political
who he wants to
party.
vote for.
Yeah, he definitely knows who he
he
wants to
sounded
vote
that way
for.
anyway.
Okay.
So, but I like the way Baridan actually landed. There was something he was saying. Oh, I'm going to lose my train of thought. Not about Mohammed's comment, but
yeah, saying that no matter what, we should go out and vote.
Yes, thank you very much. That's
Yes.
a very nice place to land our calls this morning.
Yes.
A lot is happening. There are attempts, whether by people we know or people we do not know, to disenfranchise certain people from certain parts of the country. There is no better way to end the calls this morning than to say, those of us who have our PVCs, the least we can do for the rest of the citizens that will be willingly or unwillingly disenfranchised is to go out and vote. Become a covering for the next person who cannot vote. Because whether we like it or not, the PVCs that have been found in Newi right now, it will not cover for the rest of the people that cannot and have not been able to.
No, but the good thing about that is there's distribution going on right now.
From that particular,
so a lot of people are getting their
from that
PVCs.
particular bag, but it cannot cover for the rest of the states that have this kind of issues, or local government. So we are just saying you can't even, people like the people in Newi, it should be like, oh, you tried us, we are now going to use this PVC that we have found to go for it. So everybody that has their PVCs, please, let's go out en masse and set things straight in our country.
Yeah, definitely set things straight. A lot of people are taking it upon themselves as Nigerians to make sure that they are part of this history making event. We do not want to be left behind. So get your hands on the plow and let's take a destiny into our hands by ourselves by voting on Saturday, and of course on the 11th of March as well, where we get to choose our gubernatorial candidates and representatives at the state houses of assembly. At this point, we just take our tidbit segment and we'll start with Did You Know? But before we do that, thank you to everybody that called in. You are the reason why I, Janice, and Uya get to sit down here every morning to talk about different issues bothering us as a nation. So thank you always for being there and always calling in as well.
Absolutely appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate it.
That's like a namaste.
Yeah, namaste.
All right.
So let's take our tidbits now, please. We start with Did You Know?
A trillion different orders can be dictated by your nose trail, your nose.
Trillion. That's so much numbers. Maybe if it was money, I would have really appreciated it. Like trillions in naira.
I need to make this a money thing. Somehow that trillion rang a money bell.
Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah, I'm super delighted, yeah. Somebody brought new notes for me and I'm having new notes after like 3 weeks. Like seriously.
That's so blessed. Oh,
yeah,
God bless the person.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take our health tips for this morning. Past, it could be very hurtful sometimes. They say that we can only forget. No, we can only. How's it put now? Anyways, let's just try to like always forget about our past pains, our past failures, our past difficult places, our past dark places, patched areas. Forget about it because of your mental health. It's very, very necessary. We want everybody in one piece. We don't want people falling into depression and trying to take their lives and become suicidal. So let go of anything that causes you pain in your past. Please let go of it because of your mental health. It's very necessary.
It's important.
Let's take our quotes, and that's how we'll say goodbye to you and see you tomorrow. Let's take our quotes.
No matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. No matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. Tony Robbins, author. Best words at this time. We all need to make and take our steps, no matter how slow. We are better off than not trying at all.
Yeah, and that goes to you out there. Make sure you take a step to voting on Saturday. Very important. Don't sit down and say, oh, let them go and do their thing. Let's all do our things together. Okay, so that's where we draw the curtains on today's edition. Thank you so much. And of course, to the production team, you guys are super, super amazing. Thank you so much for making production super success. My name is Janice Cobham. Do well to follow us on all our social media handles. They are on your screen. Follow us and let the community grow. We'll see you again tomorrow for another interesting edition of Rise and Shine. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.